Hi, I'm Octavia, and these are my partners, Christine and Kathy, and we're the faces behind Reveal to Heal.
Reveal to Heal is an organization dedicated to enhancing the lives of youth and families. As a team, we believe in helping them overcome their difficulties by teaching them how to heal internally so they will not repeat cycles of abuse.
Reveal to Heal has several types of programs, including support groups for men and women, family therapy, and mentoring for youth aging out of foster care.
Our services are unique because each one of our consultants has experienced them. We'll begin strengthening your mind, eliminating barriers, and helping you reach your full potential through awareness and learning.
Our Aging Out with Hope program is designed for at-risk youth aging out of foster care without a plan.
As a person who aged out of foster care, these programs are necessary.
These young adults with limited support increase their chances of engaging in dysfunctional behavior. With your help, we will be able to obtain and staff a transitional home within the Essex County area. The home will include proper training for staff and ensure all services are implemented efficiently. Our goal is to assist these youth with the services they need and help them integrate into a world with hope and opportunity. Our hearts are open. We are asking you to open your hearts and assist with the possibilities of what we can do to help our children.
I'm so proud to be a part of this program as a mentee. It's made a huge impact in my life.
I'm so proud of being a part of this program as a mentor.
We're ready to make a difference. Are you? Welcome. Thank you guys so much for tuning here. Let's Talk Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am super excited. We have narrowed it down to our this is our last segment. Our last segment of Women's Month. And we are super excited. We have an awesome setup for you guys tonight. Super excited. Internet was acting a little funky. Look at me, I'm looking a little sweaty. I started panicking, and then I just stopped and I just started praying because I'm like, God, like you want us to be here. God, you made this happen. So I'm super excited about the doors that God has opened and what God is doing in each and every one of our lives. So without further ado, we are running a little behind schedule, but without further ado, we are going to bring on Miss D. Sands. Hi, Miss Sands. I can't hear you. Are you muted? Let me unmute you. Unmute.
Hi, Octavia.
Hi. How are you?
I am great. And yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for asking. You're looking beautiful. Look at you. All dolled up.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity.
No, thank you for being willing. I thank you so much. I'm so inspired by you, sis. It's just amazing. You are doing amazing things, and I can't wait for you to be able to share all of the amazing things that you are doing in your community and for your people, and even with Reveal to Heal. Like I just can't wait for you to share. And so without further ado, if you can just tell our audience like who you are and what is it that you do.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Actually, I'm an independent contractor with Primerica, and I teach financial education. So I'm a financial coach, and I've been doing that for over 18 years now. So awesome. I want to give back to the community. So that's the reason that I'm doing it, because I was invited down to an office one day, and the information that they had shared with me, it was just astounding because it was information that I didn't know myself. And so once I had saw the information, I saw that it was a need for it, not only in my community, but in all communities.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So as
And
we say, go ahead. No, you
no,
can
go ahead. You say what? Go ahead.
You know, as we say that our children are our future, but in order for that to happen, we have to equip them with the tools that are needed in order for them to move forward for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what does that mean? Like being this, being a financial coach, what does that mean?
So what that means is that I educate individuals and also families on their financials, you know, what comes in and what goes out in order to help them to make better financial decisions. So we know the one thing in our communities, the one thing that we aren't doing is saving. And that's one thing that we need to learn to do in order to, you know, move forward. And just like as this pandemic is going on, I know this has affected a lot of people, but had they have been educated, the ones that haven't been, they would have been prepared for this.
Awesome, awesome. And that, and especially in the African American community, right? Like we don't think about trying to save and trying to prepare. We don't think about those things, and let alone begin to teach it to our children. And so why do you think it's important for you to, you know, come into the lives of our families and our youth to get them to see that this is something that's needed, it's something that's necessary?
Well, it's beneficial for me to teach them that because I've come from where they have come from, and I experienced those same experiences. So in order to gain trust for someone, you know, you would feel more comfortable with someone that's going through the same thing that you're going through or has been through it by experience. So we have been, you know, taken advantage of a lot of times. And I feel as though that, you know, in order to help someone, you have to gain their trust first. So basically they would be more familiar and trusting with someone that has gone through and know where they have come from.
And so do you think, like I know for our youth aging out of foster care, and then the youth that we provide workshops for, financial literacy is one of those workshops, like it's a part of the life skills, as a part of the career building. And a lot of the youth don't see, you know, they don't see the importance of it. And I think that right there begins because of a cycle that was passed down to them. They don't see the importance because no one is teaching them that. And then what they see indirectly is like mom or dad probably living from paycheck to paycheck, and they're just making it. And so these are the things that they take in, and these are the things that they begin to do when they become older. So definitely, it's definitely important for financial literacy to be taught and then to be broken down. But what else do you have? Like you're part of Primerica. What are some other things that you offer that's beneficial to the families that we just don't take advantage of until it's too late?
Well, educating their children. That's the one thing. Is just like the things that we learned when we grew up in school is, you know, to get a good job, you know, so you can go to school, get a good education, get a good job, and therefore you know, make this 6-figure income. But they never explain to you that, okay, once you have that, it's not secure. We saw it as being secure because we saw our parents doing that. But today, I mean, just like with this pandemic, I mean, you can work today and be laid off tomorrow. So during the school, you know, as I explained into the communities, is that entrepreneurship. That's one thing that they're not taught of being in school, to be your own boss. And that's something of importance. They should have a choice. Either you can be an entrepreneur and be your own boss and work for yourself, or you can work for someone else. But our children are only taught to work for someone else versus working for themselves. And that's something that I teach them, even from my children to my grandchildren, that you have a choice. You know, you can own your own business. It can be a service of something. It can be something that you love to do, and you can make a business out of that. And that's something that I bring to the children in the community because they don't know. I mean, it can be someone that loves to draw. You know, I have a family member and she's amazing in drawing. So I speak to her and her mom to let her know, look, could be a business of your own. You know, you don't have to work for someone else to do that, but you can just be creative and be your own boss. And those are things that our communities aren't taught. We're basically, they're taught to work for someone else. And there's, more than one way to earn income, and you can be your own boss by doing that. And that's something that I do teach some of the children that I do talk to.
Awesome. What I know also you are still a part of life insurance, right? You still provide life insurance and educate everyone on life insurance. And why do you think, not even why do you think, but what's the importance of it? Like, I know it's important, but what's the importance of us having life insurance, and we're quote unquote not old?
Right. The thing is that well, I can't say everyone. The majority of everyone believes that life insurance is for them, but it's not. It's for the people that you leave behind. If you have someone and you're taking care of them, and they're living off of your paycheck, you have to think about it. When you're not here, what's going to happen to them?
Right.
Just like money is needed for them now, money is going to be needed for them then. So that's one of the importance, and it's income protection. Everyone looks at it as is used for someone when they die, to bury them and it's okay, everything is done. But no, it's income protection. It's for the people that you live behind, so they can still have money to live the same lifestyle that you're living now. Because you find it where people don't have it, where they have these GoFundMe funds going on, or either your children end up living with a family member where you don't want them to have anything to do with them at all, but at that point it's too late. So now is the time to make that decision and to make sure that your family is covered. It's not for you, it's for your family, the people that you're leaving behind, the one that depend on you to take care of them, because they're going to still need that dependency, especially if they're under 25. I mean, they're not able to take care of their own. And even if a family member is taking care of them, you already know yourself while you're alive, it costs money to take care of them. So what makes you think that once you're gone, that it's going to be any different?
Absolutely. And do you think it's beneficial for parents to get life insurance on their children, as well as, we know on themselves for sure, but for their children?
It's beneficial for that. A lot of parents don't believe that, but the reason for is to protect their insurability. So once they do get older, it's better to get it when you're younger and you're healthier. And then once you get older, we see it today where people come up with different illnesses where it may have been hereditary, and just out of the blue, some type of illness prevents them from being insured. So if it's done when you're younger, then they don't have to worry about it. That's the reason for it. It's not because you're looking for them to pass away, is you're looking to make sure that they have the protection when they need it. So that if something comes up and they have some type of illness, they don't have to worry about being uninsurable because they'll be already insured. That's the reason for it.
Awesome. I definitely thank you for being with us and sharing that with us. What would you say to youth that are watching, young adults that are watching, parents that are watching? What would you say to them at this point, from where you've come from to where you are? What would you leave them with?
Well, I would have the parents to actually, talk to your youth. Talk to them about the things that are going on today. The mindset has to change. Talk to them about the benefits of saving money, of being their own boss, of sometimes you have to get rid of the crowd that you're with, because everybody is not going to be for you. If you're willing to make, a step out and just go in a different direction and just change the group of people that you're with, you have to be with like-minded people, ones that are looking to see you succeed, not the ones that are not looking for you to do that. And there's a bond, and there's education that's needed out there. And I would just say, for the parents to talk to your children about, they have options. They don't have to always go the way that someone is telling them. If they don't feel comfortable, with a direction that has to be career-wise or something like that, talk to your children and let them know, you have a choice. Hey, you may want to have a family business and do something together. That's something optional. But, just sit down and talk to them and let them know, there's other examples and ways of doing things. You don't always have to work for someone else. I mean, but if you decide to do that, but make sure, you're still doing that wisely. as far as even the money that you're making. Because I mean, we have children today where, you know, explain to them versus buying a $200 pair of sneakers, buy a $100 pair of sneakers and put $100 away. And that will help you toward retirement, because our young people, they figure, oh, retirement, that's way down the line. They don't think about that. But then, you know, you'll see a friend or something like that. Even in our ages when we grew up, we didn't always think about putting money away. But then when you see what people retire and they have like $500,000 or they have $1 million, it's not because they went out and bought expensive things. It's because they decided to live below their means and put money away.
Right.
When I retire, I don't want to work. I want to travel. And if I do work, it's going to be a choice, not because I have to. So, you know, just explain to your children, you know, you have a choice, and just help them to make the right choice, and just be there, you know, when they need you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us, D Sands. We thank you. And let me put I want to put your information, how people can follow you, how they can contact you. I want to be able to put that inside the chat. So how can we do that?
It's D Sands, DEESANDS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My website is www.primerica.com.
Wait. It's not okay. Primerica.
Yeah.
Okay.
/DEESANDS. My number.
Let me just put this up here.
Mm-hmm. It's 732-754-8793. Okay, my email is sands1472@optimum.net.
At Optimum?
Yes. OPTIMUM.net.
Awesome. So you guys make sure that you follow D Sands. I'm going to put her information back up here. Again, this is her email, sands1472@optimum.net. And then we have her telephone number is 732-754-8793. You guys should have that. And then we also have her website, www.primerica. Did I spell that right? Primerica.com /D Sands. You guys make sure you reach out, because we are in a time that we cannot live how we used to live in our past. So we are in a time where we got to move forward. We got to continue to move forward, and we have to make sure that we are educating our family members and our children, like that. They're the future, right? So we have to educate them in a proper way. So when you know better, you're supposed to do better. And when you are lifted up and being educated and or empowered, you must pass that down and do the same thing. And do the same thing with your children. So we definitely thank you, D Sands. We thank you for being a part of Let's Talk Social Media Live. You guys, if you have not received your copy of the Take Back magazine, Ms. D Sands is featured in that Take Back magazine along with her story. So you guys make sure that you are subscribing to the Take Back magazine, and all proceeds are going to youth aging out of foster care and the Rise and Hope transitional home that we are working towards for youth aging out of foster care. Okay, so I definitely thank you, Ms. Sands. Do you have anything else that you want to leave us with before we close out?
No, well, I want to give you kudos for your organization for what you're doing, because I have seen, you know, foster children, and when I was younger, I was also a foster child myself, and you know, we're getting help before age 18, and then once that's done, then you know they have nowhere else to turn. So you know, I give you kudos for that. In any way that I can help, you know, just reach out to me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm going to always hold you to that. You know I am. But that's another story within itself, right, Miss right, D Sands? So maybe next month you're able to come back and share what that journey was like, because next month is Child Abuse Prevention Month and Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. And so maybe next month you can come back and share with us if you don't mind.
Okay, no problem.
Awesome.
And thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. You have a great evening.
You too.
Thanks. Thank you guys as our guests are preparing to come in and bless you guys with their stories, with their journeys. Just sit back and we will go into a commercial break.
Hi, I'm Octavia, and these are my partners, Christine and Kathy, and we're the faces behind Reveal to Heal.
Reveal to Heal is an organization dedicated to enhancing the lives of youth and families. As a team, we believe in helping them overcome their difficulties by teaching them how to heal internally so they will not repeat cycles of abuse.
Reveal to Heal has several types of programs, including support groups for men and women, family therapy, and mentoring for youth aging out of foster care.
Our services are unique because each one of our consultants has experienced them. We'll begin strengthening your mind, eliminating barriers, and helping you reach your full potential through awareness and learning.
Our Aging Out with Hope program is designed for at-risk youth aging out of foster care without a plan.
As a person who aged out of foster care, these programs are necessary.
These young adults with limited support increase their chances of engaging in dysfunctional behavior. With your help, we will be able to obtain and staff a transitional home within the Essex County area. The home will include proper training for staff and ensure all services are implemented efficiently. Our goal is to assist these youth with the services they need and help them integrate into a world with hope and opportunity. Our hearts are open. We are asking you to open your hearts and assist with the possibilities of what we can do to help our children.
I'm so proud to be a part of this program as a mentee. It's made a huge impact in my life.
I'm so proud of being a part of this program as a mentor.
We're ready to make a difference. Are you?
Go. Hey guys. Hey, so we are waiting for, I'm not sure if people are having difficulty logging in, but we are waiting for our guests to kind of get situated and set up on here. Not sure what's happening. I can't receive, let me tell you, the enemy is busy. The enemy is so busy. I cannot receive any texts. I cannot receive, I can't receive anything. So I'm not really sure what's happening with my phone. I'm not sure what's happening with the Wi-Fi, but I'm here to tell you that the enemy is a lie. The enemy is a lie all the way. And I don't even know. Yeah, I can't even understand what's happening. Like I'm feeling messages coming through, but it's all it's not coming through. Like I'm not seeing anything. So I don't know. If someone, you guys that are out there watching, can you guys send in the comments so I can at least see if these comments are working in here? I'm not sure. I'm getting an error message. Not really sure what's happening. If you guys can kind of just help me out with here with just letting me know whether or not you're able to see the comments and or text. Let's see. Somebody put something. Hey, Mona. Thank you. All right. So comments are going through. If you guys are supposed to be on here, my guess, I'm not sure what's happening. I'm not really sure what's happening, but in the meantime, so let me tell you about the Take Back magazine. You can see. Thank you, Mona. So the Take Back magazine was made to bridge the gap between the community and resources in a community. A lot of times, you know, we live in a huge community and we don't know what's happening in the community. We don't know what resources are available. We don't know who's doing what. We don't network. We kind of stay in our own circle. We stay in our own box, and we don't know any of the things that's happening. And so I wanted to make the Take Back magazine that bridge. Like I wanted to bridge everything together. I wanted to feature people and interview people live, so that way the community can know who's a part of the community, what they're doing in the community. Sometimes it goes beyond the 9 to 5 that we work, and we're actually doing other things. And so I think that was really, really important for us to do. And as I tell so many people, that the Take Back magazine is not just about the community in New Jersey. It's about the community overall. It's about anyone's community. If you are making a difference, if you are doing something for your people, if you are doing something for just your family, and you're the influence and you're the impact of your family, I want to hear from you. I want to feature you. I want you to be a part. And so people always ask, well, is there a fee to be a part? Yes, there is a fee to be a part. If you guys see how wonderful our magazine is, it's a beautiful magazine. It's digital, and it takes work putting it together. Shout out to Marissa Blordorn for being able to work with our Take Back magazine in order for it to be as beautiful as it is. It comes in a nice, beautiful envelope, and you click on the envelope and it opens up and it gives you music, and then you have all these different pages that you are able to read at your leisure. And so the prices to be featured in the magazine is $97. And people will look like, well, if you're featuring somebody, then why are you charging them $97? Because we still have to put this magazine together. Not only do we have to put this magazine together, we are using those proceeds to go towards our Rise and Hope House. We're using those proceeds to go towards youth aging out of foster care. We're using those proceeds to make a difference. And so we just thought that we'll be able to give you back something as you guys are making your purchase, quote unquote, right? And so we, in our magazine, not only are we featuring individuals that are making a difference, we are also giving shout outs to individuals that are making a difference, right? We're giving shout outs. Like if we had good customer service, and we came into your store. I remember going into Staples, and you go into Staples, you're not thinking about nothing. You're just like, listen, like, this is just what I need. This is what I want. Do it. I ran into some awesome people in Staples. Shout out Staples in Bloomfield, New Jersey. I met some awesome people. And I shouted them out, and they didn't believe I was going to shout them out. And when they saw the magazine, they were just like, oh my God, like, this is just so dope. And then right there on the spot, they subscribed because they just felt like they were a part of the community. They was a part of something, bridging resources together, right? And so it's word of mouth. This magazine has already traveled to Italy. I'm super excited about that. We have people in Italy that subscribe to it. It traveled to California. We have some people in California that subscribe to it. And so we are definitely making a difference. Yes, we are up and coming, but we are up and coming with force, and we are up and coming with purpose. So those of you who didn't know about the Take Back magazine and you would love to be featured, please make sure you inbox me so that way I can get you all of the information that you would need to be featured. If you know someone who's worthy of being featured, please inbox me so I can get you the information for them to be featured in the magazine. But believe that your all proceeds are going towards definitely a great cause. And if you don't want to be featured, you can still show your support by subscribing. You can subscribe to our magazine. Please inbox me directly for that detailed information. And you can also text HOPE to 505-591-3922 if you just want to donate towards the cause. So I did see that someone just came on. So Nakia is up. So if you guys just give us a minute for me to be able to bring her to the stage. Hi, Nakia. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Oh, take me home. Okay.
There you go.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thank you for having me.
Your whole face.
You can see my whole face?
I can't see your whole face.
Wait, hold on. What was I now? Can you see my whole face?
I can see it. I can see it.
Oh, my glasses look like they glaring. I'm gonna take my glasses off. Okay.
Okay. All right, not a problem. How are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's good.
Excited.
I'm excited. We've been having some technical difficulties, but I'm telling people to bear with us. It's raining out. Classes been crazy with the internet all day, so just definitely bear with us. So I'm so happy you were able to log in, and you're here. I'm super excited about that. So
thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Definitely honored.
You're welcome. And so we can go with you just introducing yourself a little bit before we get into our whole spill of questions.
Oh, okay. Hi everyone. My name is Nakia Hodges. What else I want to say? I currently work for the Division of Child Protection and Permanency. I've been there for approximately 20 years, and I'm currently in a position as a supervisor.
Awesome. And so let me just give you guys a little bit more, right? So Nakia and I work together.
Yes.
She was one of my favorite supervisors. And when I tell you, you were. When I tell you, super amazing person. Like, she's just super, super amazing. I think this is Christine over here. Let me mute Christine, Mike. Okay. So she's a super amazing person. If it wasn't for Nakia, I would not have gotten the information for 10. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have been a part of it.
That's right.
Which was National Praise Dance Ministry. And so and when I found out Nakia was in it, I just gravitated to her more because I just loved her so much.
Yes.
And then as we got to know each other, like, we had similar stories. Yes. And it's just so amazing, like, how you can just be working with someone and not realizing how similar your life truly was. And that's so true. Just kind of want to go into that for a little bit, Nakia.
Okay, no problem.
So, like, you also was, you grew up in the system, so to kind of share a little bit about that.
Okay. So as Octavia said, I grew up in the system. I grew up in Newark. Let me just preface, I grew up in Newark. I grew up in a home where there was domestic violence, there was drug substance abuse, and a whole gamut of other traumatic events that I experienced. And at the age of 13, I was placed in foster care with a relative. And that's when, my life started from there. As a teenager, going into placement, it can be it's very traumatic. And it takes some getting used to. As the eldest child of 4, I was used to taking care of my siblings and doing, being parentified and doing things on my own. So getting used to rules and regulations and things in a structured household was very different for me. And that's where it started. That's pretty much it in the gist. I eventually aged out of foster care. And I decided at some point in my life that I wanted to go to college, and I wanted to change my life and do something better than what I had seen growing up.
Awesome. Do you think because of the environment that you were raised in and the things that you endured, do you think that's the reason why you began working for DCP&P, aka DIFUS, everyone?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So during the course of my journey, I had a social worker. I'll never forget her, Francesca Conyers. She was partly instrumental. She did a lot of talking, and sometimes we think teenagers don't listen. But I always remember, I would hear her, but not, whatever. And I had a teacher, 8th grade teacher, that also used to talk to me. And I think eventually when I graduated high school, that kind of stuck out to me, being a social worker, being there, wanting to help people or children and families who experience some of the things that I went through.
Awesome. And you have worked for DCP&P for how long?
For about 20 years. For 20 years, I've been there.
20.
That was my first job out of college, first and only job.
Wow.
Right.
So listen, you young adults that are listening, you guys can only have one job too. You can go through. You can go through it and have one job, right?
Yes.
You can go through it and have one job. It is possible. You don't have to be so antsy and leaving and quitting and doing all those different things, right? And so, what are some, like, of course, you've seen some trauma. And so I don't want to focus on the trauma, but I want to focus on the joy the joy that came across your threshold after working with families. Like, what are some of those experiences or those feelings?
Some of the joys and the joys of seeing families who decide that they want better, decide, that they're going to use to take their experiences and use it in a positive aspect. Or those families who are reunited or recover from substance, they go through substance abuse treatment and they recover and they maintain their sobriety. Those who decide, when they're in therapy, they really truly are able to understand what it is, as we call it, underlying need, what it is that's causing them to go through what they're going through, and they work through those issues to help them become more I'm gonna say mentally and emotionally stable, and not repeat the cycles that they experienced themselves.
Awesome. And Nakia, when you grew up through the system, did you go to therapy while you were in the system?
I did somewhat, but I think more so as I became an adult, and I started going through my undergraduate social work program. I think part of that helped me to realize some of the triggers that I had, some of the things that were unresolved. And so I realized at that point, if I'm going to be an effective social worker, I need to go to counseling myself. So I decided to go to therapy. And to this day, I still have a therapist. I may not see her as often, but if I need to call her or talk to her, I do that.
Awesome. And we need it. Like, we need to, a lot of times when we provide counseling to others, we need to also have someone that we're able to fall back on and that we're able to talk to. And the reason why I asked you about the childhood is because when you are a child going through it, you don't think about it. Like, you don't think that this is something that you need. You think that people are trying to be nosy and they're trying to trip you up and they're trying to report it back. And these are the thoughts that our young people have. And so if you are in a young person's life, listen, and you know that they're going through something and you know that they're struggling with something, and if they can't talk to you or you see that they're not talking to you, you guys have to encourage adults. You have to encourage. You have to be able to, you definitely have to be able to encourage. So
and
go ahead.
One of the things that I want to say with adolescents, and I'm glad you brought that up, as an adolescent, and you do think that, like, oh, people don't know what they're talking about. I don't want people in my business. But as we know, as we get older, that it's good to have someone to talk to. And the more you talk about those things that you're experiencing, the more that you're able to deal with them. And I think that parents, even with my own son, when he got into those teenage and they withdraw and they go, you have to sort of figure out a balance of, okay, let me just go sit in his room and watch him and play the game, or let's go for a long drive and then talk to them, find different ways that make them feel comfortable to open up. It's not always, because, teenagers, they're not always going to, oh, so how was your day? Fine. You want to give them a space, a space where they can really open up or feel comfortable. So you might sit in a room and play the game with them and then start conversations that way. But I think it's important for us to really engage adolescents, even though sometimes, it may be difficult.
Absolutely. I know you guys have, since the pandemic, like, everyone has been working from home. And I know for me, it's been stressful as all hell.
Right.
But you guys still have a job, right? Like, you still have a job to do. I kind of have a two-part question. I guess the first question is, do you still have the passion for the job that you had in that burning fire that you had when you first came in?
Absolutely. I think for me, and this always brings it like a little choke in me. I think for me, this is more of a ministry than anything. And I'm always grounded by the things that I've been through, and I'm always reminded of those things a lot of times. And people say, oh, you should be used to it by now. You see it all the time, but I can never get used to families being torn apart, families suffering from drug abuse or domestic violence or things like that. Those things really they touch me, and I never get used to that. So yeah, I still have with each family, it's the same you might approach them differently, but it's with the same passion.
Awesome. And so I guess my second part to that was it's definitely good to see and good to hear that you've been there 20 years and you still have the passion for it. Like you still have it. Like, you still may get frustrated, you still may get upset with things, however, but your passion is still there and that hasn't died out. And that's just awesome. That's definitely awesome. What about working from home? And because you're working from home, but you still have to oversee these families. Like how difficult is that?
So what I try to do is I try to still go, because workers are still going in the field. So as you know, I like to be in the field. I say so. So I still go out in the field. It may not be as often as I would like, but I still try to go in the field with the workers who may have difficult families, or if we want to do a family team meeting, or we do Zoom family team meetings. So I still try to find a way to keep connected, or I'll call the families myself, like I've done before. I call them myself, have a conversation, see how everything is going, and ask them what else do they feel that they need. So that's how I try to stay connected.
Awesome. Do you think now, like I guess since the pandemic, do you think that there's a lot more families that are, or a lot more cases that are being opened now?
No, and actually the caseloads have gone down tremendously. The caseloads have gone down. And I don't know if it's because, there's virtual learning, and kids are not in school, but we do say that once school opens back up, that there's probably going to be a flood of referrals. But caseloads have gone down. And it seems like we don't get as many referrals as we were getting before.
Awesome. And would you say, like, your because of where you are now and because of where you came from, have you overcome your childhood trauma?
It's still some areas that I still realize, like, if it comes up in some areas I've overcome, and some areas I'm still working on.
Okay. And it's awesome. It's awesome to be able to admit it, because it's a process. Absolutely. It's awesome to be able to admit that there's still some things that, that may trigger you in a different way. And then you just have to find a way to overcome that, and to be able to combat it. So definitely thank you for sharing that. How have you reinvented yourself through the pandemic?
Wait, say that again.
How have you reinvented yourself during the pandemic?
During this time, I also became an empty nester, so I had to figure out something to to sort of help me through that. But I was trying to figure out what can I do to just do something on the side, make a little extra money. And I said, what do I already do? What skills do I already have? And I'm a notary. I've been a notary for some time. And I was looking at things that you can do with notary, and I came across a loan signing training course for notaries, which the notaries go in, which, if people know, if you did a refinance or if you purchased a home, it's a lot of paperwork. And most of the time, some of that paperwork needs to be notarized. So that's where your loan signing agent notary would come in and help walk through your loan signing package and walk you through that process, explain the documents to you, and notarize what needs to be notarized. So that's basically what I'm doing now.
Awesome. That's great. I'm a notary too, Nakia. Thank you so much. Thank you for that little tidbit of information.
Yep, and it's pretty good. I'm setting up like I have my email account that's set up. I'm really just trying to get like a business going at this point. I'm still going through some of the trainings.
Okay. And what's your email address? Do you just solely do that for the loans, or do you notarize?
I notarize in general, okay. And that's, I do general notary and then the loan signings.
Okay. Do you have an email that you want to share with people right now?
Yes. So the email is bluebutterflymobilenotary@gmail.com.
And you say mobile notary, that means you travel?
Mobile, yes, I travel.
Look at you. Okay.
I come to you.
She comes to your house, guys.
Yes, I come to your house. And so whatever, if you need anything,
No, I told them, I said they got to meet you outside. You got to come downstairs, come to the car.
All COVID measures are taken, yes.
So it's Blue Butterfly Mobile Notary at
gmail.com. Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get this up here. You want to get this up here. You guys take down that email. Take down the email, Blue Butterfly Mobile Notary at gmail.com. Right. You know a notary that's coming to you. Guys, stop playing. Listen, you better get with the program. You better take down that information, especially if you hear, within Jersey. I don't think she's traveling to New York and doing all that, but in New Jersey, she, I don't know how far she's going in New Jersey, but you guys take advantage. Share this information. Share this awesome information. So, Nakia, before we close out, do you have anything that you would like to share just with the women, with those who are watching? We probably even have some men watching. So, what do you have to share?
I would say more so for me, if you think well, we've talked about this. Let me say this. We've talked about this. I'm very quiet. I'm a very quiet person. So sometimes you have to come up out of your comfort zone so that you can experience the blessings that God has for you. So that's what I would say. Definitely take a step, put a toe in to come up out of your comfort zone, to do something different that you haven't done before.
Absolutely. Well, we definitely thank you, Nakia, for being part of the Let's Talk Social Media Live. We definitely thank you for being featured in the Take Back magazine. Guys, you got to subscribe to this magazine. You have to read her story. It's just amazing. It's amazing to see us come together and to see us being able to pour into our community outside of our families, right? We just get more so involved in our communities. And so, Nakia, we definitely would love to have you back on the Let's Talk Social Media Live. And especially your experiences of being in the system for next month. It's child abuse prevention awareness. And so we have a special edition just for that. You guys know that is dear to my heart, as I too was raised in foster care. So that's what my passion is at, with youth aging out of the foster care system and just trying to definitely be that pillar for them. And so, Nakia, definitely thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Guys, we had Miss D Sands, we had Miss Nakia Hodges. Next coming up, we have Miss Nettie Long Poetry. She is an amazing person. I had the pleasure of interviewing her we hosted a domestic violence series in October, and she just knocked it out the park. She is an amazing woman. So without further ado, we are just going to let me just bring up her Now you know all this stuff back here, guys. All right, so without further ado, this is moving slow, but let's just give it a moment. Hi, beautiful.
Hi. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm still getting text messages from my kids. It's crazy.
They're doing a bit too much, aren't they?
Oh my God. So how are you?
I'm doing well. I am doing well. Let me try to get this other stuff off of here. Okay, let's try to see what's happening. You know, this thing starts acting strange on me sometimes.
Let me put this on vibrate. Okay.
All right. Okay, so we all are here. I don't know why I'm so big. I don't want to be big. I'm trying to even it out. I'm trying to even it out. All right. It's not evening. I don't know. Let's see. Let me just.
There we go. Where did you go? Now, hey, Nettie. Now she disappeared. Can I tell you look absolutely beautiful? Can I tell you
thank you so much.
Shimmery. You looking all golden.
Thank you. I'm a beauty influencer now, so I'm selling makeup and.
Oh, are you? What you selling from who?
It's called Pharmacy.
Pharmacy?
Yeah, I'm for it. I'll put it all in the links and stuff.
Oh,
yes, make sure you do that.
Yes, me. She's looking all shimmery. Like, excuse me.
I'm also learning.
She's living her life like she golden. Excuse us, Nettie. Oh.
Well, thank you.
Living my life like
Don't know she's looking glowing.
That's right, you do.
Excuse me. Yeah, like a glass goddess. Look at you. Yeah, you look beautiful.
Really, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for coming on with us tonight.
Yes,
and being a part of
the
Take Back
whatever you guys got going on, I'm here.
Oh no, thank you. No, thank you for just sharing yourself, sharing your talent, sharing everything. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I believe
you. Okay. So Chris has her questions up there because you know Chris is starting going on a tangent.
Yes.
What?
Okay,
everybody, I'm Christine Brown. I'm Christine Brown with my partner, my lovely partner over there, my little big mama Octavia. Keep me on point. And Nettie Long, thank you so much again for gracing us tonight. So yes, I'm going to start you with the first question is what inspired you to become Nettie Long Poetry? What inspired you to do that?
So it actually happened because of a trauma. But it was a family trauma. It wasn't just an individual trauma. Those who do follow me and know about what I do and what I talk about, really, I'm really an advocate for sexual childhood trauma survivors and also domestic violence. So I've had quite a few traumas all throughout my life. But this one hit really hard. And more importantly, it was because my children were involved. And those of you who know who I am, I have 7 children. I've got 2 grandkids.
God bless you.
And it was very hard. This one was the hardest one to kind of get over. And I knew that I needed therapy. I knew that I was going to need multiple therapists, and that also my children needed the same thing. I couldn't, it wasn't just about me. I'm mama bear at this point, and I'm still, advocating for them. They were still very young. And I had a 9-month-old child on top of that. So he was fortunate to really not kind of miss everything, but the others weren't. And it really, when I tell you, it really played such a significant demonic thing that was on them, it was very hard for them to shake what had ransacked our home, that's supposed to be our safe haven. And so I at this point I had to surrender. I really had to really trust God in the whole situation, because I wanted to die. I wanted to literally take myself out. But then I loved my children enough, even though I hated myself for having them go through such a thing, that I knew I needed help. And so I was very fortunate at the time to be working at my home church. They provided any time I needed to step away from my duties, provided me the therapy that I needed, as well as prayer, that support that I needed to keep myself rooted in godly, rooted godly. And then 3 days a week, my therapist was coming over to our house. And then she was there 3 days a week for my kids. So I needed therapy myself. And then she took us on, and we're talking 6 children that needed therapy plus myself. And so she came, and she was very faithful. She was very faithful in our situation. So that's really where her coupling me with, hey, you can color or you can write. And I said, I'm not coloring, and I sure don't want to write. And I said, because I was barely existing. And so she fought me tooth and nail every day and 3 days a week for 6 months. And finally I wrote. And when I wrote, I was amazed at what I wrote, right? Wow. My first piece was called Author of Love. And it ends up being my first spoken word piece that I ever did at a women's conference. And when I did that, because even up until that point, I still didn't consider myself a poet. But when I delivered it, I said, okay, God, I surrender. Right. And so this gift is not mine. I don't claim it to ever be mine. I always give him the credit. He's the one that gives me the content. And that's who I am, Nettie Long Poetry.
Nettie Long Poetry.
Yeah.
You work through what is called narrative therapy, which is what Octavia does as well. And thank you for that. It's truly a gift, and how impactful you are with others by doing that and breaking through. What inspired you to release your newly released poetry piece, Sleeping with the Enemy?
Okay, so I had released pieces of the childhood trauma, but I had never even touched the domestic violence. So that was something that I did this year. And when I did that, I didn't understand how relatable it is in so many other people's lives. And so I'm very proud of that piece, actually. And then I said, you know what? It has to have music behind it. I have to make it. It has to be very special. And this piece is very special to me. I had to address every negative thing that was against me. I had to address, the feelings that I had. I had to address the alcoholism that was attached to it. And so I think that's the best part about poetry, is that it helps you release those things when you're able to put the words to pen. And I'm grateful for it, because out of my misery, out of my pain, something beautiful is coming out of it. And I hope that it helps reach someone to help them get up and be able to walk out of that situation, leaving everything behind, even if it means losing everything. Your means to surviving, right? And having a mental health, a wealthy mental health is important.
That's powerful. I don't know. One of the things I want to just say is how powerful it is to give words to whatever it is you're feeling inside. That's something that, I know we talk about with our clients, is giving it a name, acknowledging what it is. That's right. And once you can acknowledge what it is, you give it a name, then you can release it. because when you don't identify it, of course, like any trauma, which is what, you know, we talk about in the Stepping Into Courage workshop, you know, any trauma, it holds a place in your body. And so by you writing it down and giving it a name, you're releasing it. It no longer have a power over you. And that goes to show the impact of you. I don't know if you don't mind sharing that poet, you know, that piece.
I have it
Sleeping with the
ready.
Enemy.
I have it ready.
You
Just in
do? Okay. Would you mind sharing that with us?
Yeah.
Please?
Yeah. You want me to do it now?
Yeah, please, if you don't mind. If you want to see my lashes, they are partially off.
No, I'm gonna put the music. Is that okay? All right. Is that too loud?
No, I think it's okay.
Okay. I was tired of being manipulated, doing what you wanted me to do. Isolated me from my family and friends, all because I chose you. I was tired of being ridiculed over and over and over just because I wasn't like you. I hated the many times you used to invoke your violent words just to break me. You said that I was worthless, finished, washed up goods, weak, a whore and a harlot with 2 baby daddies, but yet you were one of them, professing how no one would want me now, that you were the best I would ever have. You see, there would be many nights where your demons would come out and flex, and I can be sleeping in our bed and still be accused of cheating. And as the sun grew inside, I can remember very vividly how much I hated being pregnant. How much I didn't want this child, let alone it be your child, knowing that you made the biggest mistake of my life, allowing insecurities to get in the way, as if my biological clock was dying, believing all of the things that you said that were killing me slowly instead, to the point of wanting to be dead, needing influences just to make it through the day. I hated every day that I saw your face, and every time I opened my eyes, your presence would vex the deepest part of my core. Cut so deep, nearly bled to death. My heart was weak, and all I wanted to do was make it stop. I was fighting different levels of depression, trying to sleep through the days because you didn't allow me to sleep. Your words were like this demonic, devastating muse that you tried to call picture perfect. Fighting battles within myself, wondering if I could ever love our son when I didn't even love myself. I hated sleeping with you, sleeping with the enemy, just trying to trip that temperament of yours. I never did enjoy it, and I never did tell a soul, because after all, I chose this fold. Stubborn, I refused to want to be lonely, knowing I would never be happy. Stubborn at the fact that I was fat, convinced of that, so I settled, allowing you back and forth at least 5 or 6 times. And each time you said that you were fine, each time that you said you weren't going to do this again to me this time. After all, you wasn't physically harming me, making excuses. It could be worse. He could be trying to kill me. After all, they're just words. I can deal with words. You see, but these words were driving me to drink. And every day more and more I had to drink. And every day I needed to treat this disease that was crippling me, while every day was worse than the next day, and nothing helped. And those words, they cut deep into my bone, and they wrote marrow to my bone. And there would be many times that I soaked up my sheets with bloody tears that left stains on the side that I was supposed to sleep. I almost dismissed your silent hate treatment towards my oldest daughter, who was 8, all because of this influence that I was under. But I had a praying mother that kept praying and encouraging me until the day arrived when I made up in my mind that I was going to leave all this foolishness behind. And it didn't matter that everything was in my name. I was willing to lose it all in the name of love. Loving myself in order to quiet the voices that were trying to breach my soul. That glimpse of hope was just the push that I needed to cleanse my wretched soul. I then realized that I obtained a power that was Samson bold. You see, God will always always open up doors that no man will be able to close. Why? For our redemption. You ask, how can I be the righteousness of God? The moment that I turn towards Elohim, the creator, and realize that I am nothing without him, that I was my own worst enemy, believing things that were never intended for me, choosing paths that were never destined for me, but I'm now choosing a path that was always destined for me. I'm free. I'm no longer sleeping with the enemy. I'm free. Thank you.
No, thank you for sharing that. Thank you. That very powerful piece. Thank you. Thank you. It's a little give me shivers just thinking about it. Who has helped you to grow as a poet, like in your poetry and your art? Who has helped and influenced you to grow? Or to
So I would have to say Ambition the poet and Nikki D the poet. Those two have been one to, as soon as I met Ambition, it was at another event that both him and I were doing. And he kind of took me in under his wing per se, and has been mentoring me ever since. I would also have to say my spiritual connection with the Lord, and my children. They are the biggest supporter that I have. And my granddaughter. She's my biggest cheerleader. So if she can come to all my events, that girl would be there.
She's doing her job.
Yes.
Your little granddaughter, she's doing her job.
But but the other two, everybody holds me accountable. I said, everybody holds me accountable. So
everyone holds you accountable.
Mm-hmm. They do.
How can we, what are you working on next, and how can we get in contact with you?
So I've got I got a lot of things going on. I'm actually performing at Rhythm and Reason. That's like the biggest platform for poets all over the world, all over the nation. And it's going to be in Bethlehem, PA. That's going to be during Poetry Month, so in April the 10th. And then I'm also being one of the featured lineups for Ladies in Poetry. Comedian Will Wright and Nikki D the poet have rounded a few poetry ladies to have a poetry night, and the tickets are only $10, and that's going to be on the 17th. And I'm also in a
you're going too fast. I got to you're performing at Rhythm and what? Rhythm and Reason.
Rhythm and Reason. In Pennsylvania, I'm sorry, Bethlehem and PA.
Rhythm and Reason. And
yes.
Okay, and that's in PA.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I'm just trying to make sure we get all of this, and that's April 10th, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me just make sure I put it up there. Okay, and what was the next one? Ladies' Night Poetry.
Yeah, Ladies of Poetry. I'm one of the headliners. Yes. The tickets are $10. That's going to be in Mount Laurel. It's also on Eventbrite. If you follow my post, you'll be able to click on the link of the post that I recently just posted today, and it'll go straight to Eventbrite for those tickets.
That's another thing. Give us your how can we follow you?
Sure. So I made everything easy. You can find me under Nettie Long Poetry or just Nettie Long. Chances are it's either one of those. I have YouTube. I have Instagram. My beauty page is Nettie Long Pharmacia or Pharmacy, and
Nettie Long Pharmacy.
Pharmacy. Yeah, it's FARMASI. Nettie Armani.
And what is this? This is your website?
Yes.
Okay, so it's www.
But in my bio has my website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, it's like okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we can also do this. Okay. I just want to put this up here. We definitely thank you so much for let me bring Chris back in here. We thank you so much for just being a part of we thank you so much for being a part of Let's Talk Social Media Live. Yes. Your poetry, we've always told you your poetry is fire.
Thank you, sis.
Here. We are always so amazed and so welcoming of you being a part of the journey, and also just being able to share your story and then release your pain, release your happiness, release everything through your poetry. And so it's just an amazing feeling when you are able to release, especially when you find a passion that you're able to release with. And so we definitely thank you, sis. We thank you for being a part of the Let's Talk Social Media Live. We thank you for being featured in the Take Back magazine. If you guys have not received your copy, please get your copy. We definitely thank you. We definitely thank you guys for sticking with us. And we are going into our next guest. We are going to be able to give our countdown. Nettie, is there anything else that you want to say before we close out?
Yeah, so my ebook is dropping mid-April. I don't have an exact date. It was supposed to be the 10th, but I didn't like my book cover, so I had to go back to the drawing board about that. So just look out for that. And my SoundCloud that I'll put in the links so that you're able to
put it in the link. Okay. Because I'm not getting everyone's feedback. So guys, it's not me. I'm not really sure what's happening, but I'm not getting everyone's feedback. But I definitely thank you all for being a part. Nettie, thank you so much. Until next time, my sister, stay blessed. We love you as always. We definitely, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Bye.
All right, see you.
Nettie.
All right.
Thank you, Nettie. That was absolutely, beautiful.
Thank you so much. I'm going to put the link that way you can hear it.
Okay.
I have it recorded.
Thank you so much. I don't know.
You're welcome. I appreciate you guys.
All right, so I'm gonna bring up next. We have Sparkle coming up. To the stage. And so let's just kind of give me a second. I'm going to just take you down for a second, Chris. All righty. Hi.
What's up? Listen, I'm still jamming on that music, your sister with the poet. That music, because I don't even know what was that.
What was that? She is just amazing, isn't she? She's just so amazing. Let me get this stuff over here situated. You know, I'm over here acting like I'm a one-man show, just trying to. It is just so amazing to have you here. It's super amazing to have you here. And if for you guys that do not know, Sparkle Lee is our headliner. She's the cover of our magazine. Super excited. Why isn't this coming up? All right. Super excited. Chris, let me bring you up here. You up here? Okay. All right. Chris, are you stuck? Oh.
No, I'm right here.
Oh, okay. All right. So definitely thank you. I'm not really sure what's happening with these comments. I don't know. StreamYard is doing its own thing tonight. It's doing its own thing. But we are definitely happy to have you here. If you guys did not see the cover of that magazine, you guys need to look at the cover of that magazine. We have Sparkle. Sparkle Lee is facing that magazine. She is covered. When you guys look into that magazine, you will see a whole different Sparkle inside the cover. I mean, inside the magazine.
Listen,
with her, she She is referee. She is mom. I don't know if you like to be called grandma. What's your grandma?
Grandma. I ain't got no problem with that. Grandma.
That's grandma. Listen, I'm not gonna give it all away, but she also was a police officer for umpteen thousand years. I said, yes, I did say it. I said umpteen thousand.
No, just 20 and I ran. 20 out. Don't even get it twisted.
She said only 20. Some of us can't even stay in a job for 2. And she said only 20. He's only did it for 20, right? Like, come on. So that's pretty exciting within itself. And so I just want Sparkle to just share a little bit about who she is, where she's from, and before we get into her our slew of questions.
Well, first, thank you. Thank you for having me. And you know, to tell you, Devil was working today, but we already know who wins at the end.
You know it.
I was feeling you. But you know, number one, I'm definitely one of G's little girls.
That's right.
That's it. Nothing happens without him. So I guess that's right. And like you said, I'm a mother, I'm a grandma, I'm an auntie, I'm a godmother, retired cop, referee with the boxing. You know, listen, whatever God gave me, I'm doing it.
I know that's right. Thank you so much. And you did hear her say referee with the boxing, right? And so I know we have our questions up here, but can we just go into that? Because I think that is just so sexy. That is just so dope.
You know, it wasn't my plan.
It wasn't your plan. But so not necessarily how you got into it, but how did you get into it?
Yeah. Listen, like I tell a lot of people, it's so funny. Growing up, I was into wrestling. You know, Animal Steel, Andre the Giant, and all of that. That was Sparkle in the, you know, and going to the fights until I found out it was fake. It hurt my heart.
You wanted the people to be hurt, Sparkle. What's happening?
No, seriously. And then I just thought, you know, I wanted to get a good workout, so I joined the gym, Gleason's gym, when they was in Manhattan, and I just did the workout, even though they was training us actually to fight. I wasn't going for that, but I did it, you know. So we had a couple of bouts, and then the owner of the gym said, "Hey, Sparkle, you know, I'm the president of USA Boxing. Why don't you get involved?" I was like, "Okay."
Sure. But you know, that's just a normal invite.
You know, at the end of the day, it's just something else to do. I mean, you know, I was a young mother, you know, pregnant at 17, you know, so I already had 2 kids and all that. So, you know, get a little Sparkle time. I said, bet, I'll do it. So I joined the USA Boxing, and I just stayed in there learning everything. So you don't just learn the ref, you learn the timekeep, you learn the judge, you learn the clerk. You know, you're just there to learn every aspect of it. So if you don't just go, I just want to do this. You got to learn everything, and that's where. And then everything else is history.
Wow, that is awesome. That's definitely awesome. And if you sit back and look at your life, being a referee wasn't probably a part of that. Like you never even thought about that. Though you love wrestling, like that wasn't a part of the plan, but it was a part of God's plan, and you was obedient to it. And you are. Sparkle, you're the first African-American woman or first woman overall to be to receive a certain award.
Okay, are you talking about for the Women's Hall of Fame International?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I was the first referee, period. That received that award in 2015 to get the International Boxing Hall of Fame. And that right there shocked me because when they called me, I was like, y'all sure y'all calling for me? I'm Harlem kid, you know. You want to bless me, I'll take it.
That is amazing. Yeah. That right there is kudos all the way. Amazing. No, it's all God. We give it to you as well. We got it because you was obedient. We was obedient to his calling.
I do that traveling, doing everything, and I'm right back in Harlem, right? Right back to reality. And like, all right, kid, come on back.
Like, we're back home now. Okay, just pump your little brakes.
Yeah, they be sweating me in all these different countries, Japan and everything. Ooh, picture. Everybody's so cool and everything. And then as soon as you get off the plane, all right, you're back to reality, kid.
Like,
you ain't all of that.
Like you can just walk through the crowd. Don't worry about it. That is amazing. So So we talked about how you got started in boxing, and what's some of the places you have traveled? Because you mentioned Japan. What's some of the other places you traveled?
Oh my gosh, I went to Africa twice.
Wow.
On a freebie, chick. Freebie. I would say, I've been to Germany, Panama. Oh my gosh, you name it. I mean, it's not too many places. I have China a couple of times. Just all over, man. Denmark.
Wow.
Budapest. I don't even know what Budapest was. So.
But you there?
Yeah. So I've been able to experience all of that. Italy, Wow. So it's God's blessing, man. Yes.
Wow. And so, and being a referee, just it awarded you those opportunities. Absolutely. To just be able to really travel. Is that something you always wanted to do? Travel?
Of course.
Yeah.
Because I always knew Harlem. I love Harlem. I love living here, but I know there's a world out there, and that's what's so sad for some of our own people. They say where they want. They say, "Oh, I went to the Poconos, and that's the far as they'll go." And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, the world is so big. You have to experience everything.
Yeah.
So I listen. I'm grateful that I got to experience it, and I ain't have to pay for it.
That's right. That's a double gratefulness right there. That's a double. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. It's a double right there. It's a double whammy right there. That is awesome. So in your bio, I see you have 15. Oh yeah, 15 siblings.
Yeah, Mama didn't look at TV too much. You already saw that, right? Yeah. Yeah, my mom had 9 boys and 7 girls.
Wow. How was it growing up in a huge family like that?
You know what? Overall, it was great. No, you could not have nothing in the refrigerator because somebody would take it. So that was definitely a big fight. Don't put nothing in there because somebody's going to take it. And they didn't take it. Yeah, but it was good. And you talking about the time I was growing up where your mom sent you outside, so you could jump rope and all of that. We didn't stay inside and been on our phones. Well, we didn't have it that way, but we always had the opportunity to have fun outside. So we always had fun. But at the end of the day, I like I said, I tell people, I can say most of my childhood was good. But at the end of the day, we still had secrets in our family.
Oh, yeah.
Things that did happen, And what's weird with me was that growing up, and I would say maybe somewhere like 7 years old, 8 years old, somewhere around there, didn't realize that I was actually being sexually abused. Why? Because no one talked about it. The person who was doing it was so nice, family member. So he was always good. And so it wasn't like I was being, somebody being nasty. Yeah, I'm threatening you. You didn't even know that it was wrong.
Wow.
That's what was crazy. And it was going on all the time. It wasn't until later, when everything comes out. My mother didn't even know. So I can't even say nothing wrong with her. She didn't know because we didn't tell her nothing. Because when you have your brothers in here say how much you love you and that's it, you think everything is good.
Right.
And so as you got older and you see, you know what, that was messed up. And then when you start growing up and then you start living a certain way, as far as relationships and all this other stuff, not trusting, it all goes back to that same time when you was young. But you're not even figuring that out, And I just when people talk about it, nobody gets help. It's a secret in the family. So even to this day, my family already knows. I love them and everything, but we haven't even had a conversation. I can't know what he did to you and what he did to me. Because no one have a conversation. The only time I get a chance, opportunity is now when I get out to talk to young people, I can release it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm just grateful right now that I'm actually to say I'm healing. It took me a long because where it started, you have the forgiveness. So until I got to forgive, then I was able to heal. But all that, other than I'm good, and I'm just hoping to express that with young people that I come in touch with.
And that's awesome. And it definitely, you can just imagine just growing up, like, this is what we talk about. This is one of our babies here when we talk about trauma, and we talk about secrets and keeping those and breaking those cycles of abuse. And when you begin to talk about it, people shy away from it. Like, people don't want to hear that because people don't want to be faced with what they've been through. Like, people don't want to hear that. People don't want to talk about that. They want to leave it in the past. They want to keep it there. And even with my own family too, like, there was just things with, like, when people read my book, people were angry. And so they were angry, but I had to realize, like, when I found out they were angry, when I was getting all these calls that they were angry, like, I didn't even know how to process the fact that what they were really angry about. Because I eventually realized that they weren't angry with me that I said it, you know what I mean? Because I had to stand on my truth. And but they were angry because they were still holding on to the pain and they couldn't release their truth. And so I had to really, like, eat that, and just, you know, the anger that I had with them for being angry at me, I had to release it, because you're not angry with me. You are just angry that you're still holding on to your truth, and for whatever reason, you can't seem to release that, right? And so, after a year or so, then people started, like, now they want to talk to me about it. Now they want to come out. Now they want to agree. Now they want to understand, and now they want to, tell me how proud they are of me. And not that I need that, but now I see the growth in you. Now I see that you are able to kind of not identify, but you're able to come to terms with the reality of what actually happened. And so prayerfully, you do get, you do receive the help that you're able to receive. So that is definitely awesome, that you are able to heal, that you're in the healing process, because healing is ongoing. Like I tell everybody, like, healing is ongoing for the rest of your life. You're going to be healing, because you're going to be triggered. You're going to be healing. You're going to overcome. And this is just what it's going to be. And people don't realize that. People think when you go to therapy, 40 years of oppression, you're going to get healed in 4 weeks.
Yeah, amen.
No, it's just not going to work. So I definitely thank you. Definitely thank you for sharing that. You were blessed being first in many things in boxing. Which one was more meaningful to you?
Wow. Yeah, you're right. I was definitely blessed. Especially becoming the first female to be licensed in New York State to be a professional boxing referee, and the same thing in Jersey to be the first female in Jersey license. I'm gonna tell you what was crazy. I believe for me, the most thing that was to me was becoming the first female to referee the New York Daily News Golden Gloves.
Woo!
I'm gonna tell you why. I was there, and don't joke. I enjoyed refereeing. I enjoyed judging. Whatever they told me to do as a woman, I'll do it. I was there for 15 years. 15 years I was there. And they let me referee all the other tournaments, but when it came to New York the Golden Gloves, they didn't let me do it. But you know what? I was good, because I ain't want nobody to say, "Oh, they go angry black woman." I was like, good, because I already know everything's in God's time. It ain't in my time. I'm enjoying myself, and I was having a good time. I was meeting so many good people, and just working with the kids was amazing. So here's the kicker. So in 1997, I was supposed to get my license to become a professional referee. Commissioner, and this is so weird. So the commissioner comes, get me, he checks me out, All right, Sparkle, I go down, register, give the man a receipt, $50 I pay him, 1997. And I believe it might have been on a Friday. I give it to him, boom, boom. He was like, "Oh, Sparkle, I said, okay, thank you. I'm excited." Monday, that man don't have a job. Sparkle and get a license, and they ain't give me my $50 back. It's quite okay. I'm taking my back to the amateurs. And in 1998, I got in there and was the referee. So I said, God was like, "No, chick, you coming back.
Right.
You been here too long. You're gonna be the first one to do this." And in 1998, it happened.
Wow.
So then I was excited. I was like, "Oh my God!" But that was God. And then it wasn't until 3 or 4 years later, 2001, when I got to get my license in New York State to be a professional. So you know how God works. He's like, "No."
Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing.
And any fighter, if you talk to any fighter that fought in the amateurs in New York, you want to get a Golden Glove. You want to get that gold on you. You understand? That's like, so to me is, and I like to have the opportunity just to referee. Y'all let me referee everybody else. Even with the amateurs, I traveled. We went to all kinds of different cities. We was in California. We was here. We was always traveling. But when they was like, not yet. I was like, okay.
Wow.
So,
wow, that's amazing.
So that's why, to me, that one right there, because, you know, at the end of the day, I earned it. Let's keep it real.
Wow, I know that's right.
God made it happen.
Absolutely.
And I have a question for you, Sparky. With that incident, with that happened, and now for your family and your grandchildren and your children and everyone, do you understand how impactful that is to them? You know, how not giving up, or I don't even know if you tell them, like, listen, just because it's not happening right now doesn't mean it's not going to happen. You know, you got to just stay steadfast. Doesn't mean, and I don't know if that's something you share with them, you know, or use it as an example.
Well, you know what's so interesting? They never saw me angry. They never saw me angry about anything that didn't happen for me. They never saw. I just kept moving. You know, it's like they go, Mama, she doing whatever she's doing, what she's doing. So, you know, I took everything in a positive state because I already knew, you know, my mother didn't go to church that much, but she threw us out to church. I don't know if y'all understand what I meant. Sunday,
don't worry, my mother did the same thing.
Go on, you trying to cook, and
Bernadette said the same thing.
So I always felt I was covered anyway. You know what I'm saying? I had so many chances to get caught up in a lot of stuff out there in the street, and God always came to, nope. So I was weaving the bulb, and I didn't even know it.
Wow.
It's true.
Wow.
It's true. It's true.
That is amazing.
All you had to do is stand on your faith. You stand on you stand on your faith.
Still doing it, always. Even through this pandemic, we better do it.
I know. Tell me about it. What? If you were able to use boxing as a platform, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Woo! And you know what's so sad? There's so much stuff with, you know, oh my gosh, with injustice and everything. Mama had dementia. I would say it probably have to be two things. One of them I have to throw in feeding the hungry. That's something that just to my heart. I just don't understand how in the country we live in right now, and people still living on the street, people are still hungry. So you know, people that know me, I still to this day, you know, every week I'm out there trying to feed them as best way I can every day. So feeding, but then also definitely talking to our young people, especially them, you know, whether it's sexual abuse, mental abuse, bullying, whatever, because our young people are our future. So I like to relate to our young people and let them know God got you. Don't care what you're going through, He got you. And then just trust in them, and then try to put yourself with positive people that can help you. Don't get somebody to get you negative to do the stupid stuff. And so my thing is, my platform, especially with sexual abuse, to let them know that nothing was there for it. They do nothing wrong, you know, and then just find someone that they can talk to, and just, you know, that I'm here and I'm here for them. So young people, definitely. Awesome. I love the kids.
That is awesome. Especially your passion for young people. You have always been that way. You've always been that way. And it's just amazing to see that to see you still growing in it, and to see you giving back, like just constantly giving back and giving back. So that's definitely amazing. How important is your relationship with God as it relates to your success?
Girl, what you say? What? That's what, just eating a piece of candy. Thank you, Lord. Yo, everything. Yo, you is God.
That's absolutely.
This was not my plan. This is God's plan.
Yes.
Chickens and still living in Harlem. I'm a Harlem girl doing all this stuff.
Right.
Anytime I go, before I get in that ring, I'm praying. In the ring, out the ring, I'm praying. He's everything.
Wow.
You know, everything. And if I get up in the morning and think I'm too busy and I'm doing something and I forget this, thank you, Lord, for waking me up. I feel crazy. Like, if I still do, I'll be like, I'm gonna knock me inside my chick. I know He still got more for me. This is nothing, you know, because I'm definitely looking for that financial generation. I'm looking for that money coming. I know you got that, but He said, Sparkle, when it's your time, you got it.
That's right.
Absolutely. Sparkle, what would you say to the women that are watching, to the young people that are watching? Like, what would you say to them at this point? They're just watching you in such admiration and inspiration.
Just say, listen, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Don't let no one kill your spirit. Don't let, because that's what people are. That's their job. Is to stop anything I tell people a lot. People see the glow in you.
Mm-hmm.
They see that you're going somewhere, so if they can break that spirit. Don't let nobody break your spirit. Do it. And if you surround yourself around people that's not talking what you want to hear, then find some other friends. How about that? Find somebody that's following you. So just don't give up. You can do anything. You can do anything.
Absolutely.
If it's in God's plan, let's get that right.
Right.
Because we got a plan and God got a plan for us.
Mm-hmm.
So let's keep it real. So ask Him. Ask God. Say, this is what you want me to be doing.
Mm-hmm. And what about those who find it hard to believe in God, who they hear you talking about and they hear you saying like, okay, God this and God that, but like,
sorry, let them know. Listen, that's our problem now. I tried it one time. I'm not acting like I was all godly, and God's still working on me. But I know that in my life, every time I try to do things without Him, that's when I got in trouble. How about that? I got in trouble every time. And God said, I ain't tell you to do that. You know, you just, at the end of the day, you know, I tell people, I'm not going to throw my faith. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus, whatever. But you know what? Today, you better believe in something. You can't do nothing on your own.
Absolutely.
You want to call Him Allah, whatever that God bless you. I respect anybody, what people believe in, but you must believe in something. Right. I believe in Jesus. I'm a Jesus girl, and I'm gonna do that. And I talk that to my grandkids. They know it. If you have to say, what book Grandma read? The Bible. But believe in something. You are not gonna be able to handle life on your own. You tried, it ain't gonna work.
Right.
And that's just at the end of the day. It ain't gonna work. Not without Him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sparkle, we definitely thank you for being a part of Take Back. We thank you for being a part of Let's Talk Social Media Live. Guys, if you did not get the magazine, that's my spill, right? Make sure you are getting the magazine. Sparkle is featured in it. She is on our cover. She's blessed us with being on our cover. She's an amazing, amazing woman. She's an amazing woman of God. She's definitely an encourager, an empowerer, an educator, an inspiration. So you guys definitely check out the magazine, subscribe to the magazine. Also, I just lost my train of thought. I just lost it. I'm sorry. But follow Sparkle. Follow Sparkle on her Instagram. Sparkle, you have Instagram?
Yeah, it's just Sparkle. Sparkle Lee. You just go to Sparkle Lee, you'll find me.
Okay.
Yeah, and Facebook. I haven't really got into all that. I'm still learning. I'm trying to get into YouTube and all that. I'm still a little old school, but I have my little nieces and everybody teaching me how to do all that stuff.
Awesome. You guys go and follow her. Go definitely support her page. And you can even reach out to her. Listen, Sparkle is also into mentorship, mentoring. You have youth. She will definitely be an asset to your youth. And being able to not only share her experiences, but being able to pour back into the community. Being able to pour back in the community. She has had some finds and riches with how she traveled and by way of how she's traveling and by way of what she's doing. And she is being blessed with being able to experience the world without having to pay for it, right? But just with a gift that she was given. And so you guys, like that is just right there, is just an amazing within itself. So you guys definitely follow her. You guys, if you didn't see the whole, if you wasn't here from the beginning, go back and look at the repeat in your own time. But definitely go back and play the repeat. And let me know that you watched the repeat. Sparkle, thank you so much again for being a part. We are closing off, and we're gonna have Miss Gwendolyn. That's Gwendolyn Goodman. Gwendolyn Goodman is going to be coming up. And we definitely thank you, Sparkle.
Thank you.
I don't know what's happening, Chris. There you go. All right. So we're gonna be bringing up Miss Gwendolyn next. Sparkle, do you have anything else that you want to say to everyone before you leave?
Yeah. Really quickly, I want to say thank you guys for having me. I love you. I love you guys doing a fantastic job. And I just want to tell everyone that God loves you even when you can't find the strength enough to love yourself. Life is like a camera. That's what I saw. Life is like a camera. Focus on what's important. Capture the good times. Develop from the negatives. And if things don't work out, take a picture. Take another another shot. Love you guys. Thank you.
Love you too, Sparkle. Thank you so much. Awesome, awesome, awesome. What an amazing interview. I'm super excited that she was on. We're bringing up Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn, let me just bring you on up. Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
I am doing absolutely amazing.
Awesome. We know we are going into our limit tonight. We had some hiccups happening here, but thank you for sticking around for your interview, and thank you for being part of the Take Back magazine. Let me bring Chris back in here, because if she get out of here one more time, just one more time.
I keep on having technical difficulties on this side as well.
It's so strange tonight.
I'm sorry.
Gwendolyn too.
What happened to Gwendolyn?
Gwendolyn too. Listen, guys, we don't know what's happening. Let me tell you something. The enemy is busy. And it has been all day. And it seems like every Wednesday, the enemy is trying to do something to stop this Let's Talk Live. So we know that we are doing some amazing things. We know that we are here for God's glory, and we're here for God's purpose. And the enemy is not going to stop us. So as long as he keep knocking us off, we're going to keep getting back in here. So we stomp on you right now, enemy. We stomp on you right now. So thank you, Gwendolyn. Thank you for being a part.
You are welcome. Thank you for the invite. You are amazing. I fell in love with you from day one, from picking up the water. You are doing it, and it just connected with me because I'm all about that healing piece, especially when it comes to women. It just, we just connected, and you've been in my heart ever since.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's just an amazing feeling. So we are going to jump right into it. So just tell us about who you are and what is it that you do?
Well, I want to start off first of all by saying I am nothing. I live and I move and I have my being in him. But I bless God that he looked at little old me and chose me to be his vessel. So that is all of who I am. What I do, probably I've been doing it all of my life. Even when I was a child, I can remember my mom saying to me, you just a little girl yourself. And every time I turn around, you bringing somebody in this house trying to help them. You don't have that. What you got belong to us, you know. But I just always had a passion for the least, the lost, and the broken, and the forgotten. I always had that within me, even going through my own struggles. So I just always sought out ways to help others. And I was always either seeking someone out to help them, or someone was always winding up in front of me requesting help. So that's just, I'm a minister, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a wife, I'm a godmother, I'm a servant, that's who I am. And again, I'm nothing without him. I can do nothing without him. I'm called for him, by him, and to his purpose, for his purpose. And that's just what I stand on.
Wow. Awesome. That was beautiful. In your I guess in your journey, or in your calling, did you immediately find yourself obedient to it? Did you try to pull away?
No. I wanted no parts, especially when I realized that my call was to us, meaning women.
Yeah.
I wanted no parts. I grew up in a house with 9 brothers and 3 sisters. So, and most of my acquaintances, for the most part, were men or boys. That's who I clicked with. If I was around women, they were much older than me, because I always wanted that wisdom. I always wanted somebody that could pour into me. I never really was around my peers, meaning my age group. And if you were there, you were mostly often there for a purpose. So no, I wanted no parts of it. And I said to the Lord, like, you kidding me? Like, nah. You know, I'm not doing this. I'm not being bothered with this. You know, we got issues. You know? But
Yep.
but yes, you know, fortunately, as I began to move, and I ran from this for years. I mean, years, to actually launch out into the deep, should I say. I know I just didn't want to do it, but it took a a tragedy, so to speak. In 2010, I something happened to me physically. And I wound up, I couldn't walk. And during that time, the doctors ran me through every test known to man, and they could not figure out what happened to me.
Wow.
They couldn't explain it. And I was in the hospital for a month. I wound up in a nursing home for another month. Um, and laying in that nursing home bed, me and Jesus had a long talk. Or should I say, he had a talk with me. Because for about a couple of weeks, I couldn't even talk. My voice went. And when the Holy Spirit got finished with me in that room, because I kept saying to people, and my pastor being one of them, who's actually my apostle now, I said to her, I said, this is crazy because I feel like I can walk, but my legs won't move. I kept saying it. I mean, they sent in a psychiatrist to evaluate me. And the irony of that is the psychiatrist that they sent in was the actual psychiatrist that I worked with at the hospital.
Wow.
And it was so crazy because when he walked in and he saw me, he was like, Miss Goodman. And I was like, Dr. Multani. And he was like, oh my God. I said, just do your job. It's okay. Now, they never told me they were sending in a psychiatrist to evaluate me. He just walked in the room. So, and it was funny because he was very reluctant. So he said, I know you ain't crazy. I know ain't nothing wrong with you. I said, that's okay. Do your job. Just do your job. It's okay. So, he did it and everything. But anyway, long story short, I kept making that statement. And like I said, that night, somewhere between midnight and 3 in the morning, when I tell you the Lord spoke to me, and I said, I was like, Lord, I know you're not going to leave me like this. I don't care what the doctors say. I will walk again. This is not my end right here. And I said, but I don't understand. I feel like I can walk, but my legs won't move. And you know what the Holy Spirit said to me? Your legs are not listening to you because you're not listening to me. And when I tell you, like I said, when the Lord got done with me, and he said to me, all I want is a total yes. A total yes. No more geeing and hawing, no more bargaining, no more nothing. I just want a yes. And when I tell you again, me being me and God knows his children, I said, okay, God, I said, if I know I heard what you said, but if I really heard and had this encounter with you, when I'm back in the house, you're going to confirm it by somebody that you know that I trust and love. And when I tell you, my husband had came and took me, I after that encounter, I called him. I said, listen, when you come this Sunday, I just want to go to church. I just want to go to church. And he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go home first and get you some clothes and then take you to church. And I said, I ain't worried about no clothes. Just come get me and get me to the house. Okay. He said, but I know how you like to look when I ain't worried about all that. Just get me to the house. Okay. So he came and got dressed and took me to the church. And when I tell you, I left out a part that night. I went to sleep singing that song, Yes, by Shekinah Glory.
Oh, baby.
When I got into the sanctuary that Sunday morning, right after my husband said to me, he said, well, do you want me to take you out the wheelchair and put you on a pew, or you want me to roll the wheelchair up to the pew and you just sit by the pew? I said, no, take me out the chair and just put me on the pew. So when I first got there, everybody's looking because this is the first time they've seen me in months. And, they're all looking at me and and I'm saying, okay, Lord, is these pity looks or is this deliverance looks? What kind of looks am I getting? Because I don't need the pity. I need them to put their faith with mine and know that God is going to do this thing, And so I'm sitting there and I'm trying to not focus on them. And soon as y'all, when I tell y'all, as soon as my behind hit that pew, my pastor mounted that pulpit and she began to sing the song, Yes.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, all right, Lord, here you go. I'm like, okay. And she said, God said all he wants is a total yes. She said, the water is troubled. Come now. He's going to do it now. And I'm looking at my husband. I'm like, could you get me to the altar? Could you please get me to the altar? Somebody get me to this altar because I couldn't, I couldn't walk. So they came and they got me to the altar. And by the time they got me there, I felt defeated because it was kind of like too much. They were trying to handle me with care and get the wheelchair. And then it was just, so I felt defeated. So I was like, just take me back. I said, just take me back. I said, it just take me back. So they took me back. So my pastor, she couldn't let it go. She kept saying, God said, you came, but you didn't get what he got for you. He was like, he's going to do it. Come. She said, but you got to come while the water is troubled. And when I tell y'all, I sat in that pew and I began to cry out to God. And I said, Lord, I know I heard you. And if I heard what I heard, Holy Spirit, you get me to that altar. I'm not waiting for nobody else to take it. And when I tell you the power of God fell on me, so they said that you could see, because I was somewhere in the third heaven, y'all. I don't know what happened. When I tell y'all, they said you could see the Holy Spirit literally dragging me across the floor to the altar. You could see the power of God pulling me. And when I got to the altar, the only thing I remember consciously is I heard my husband was on one side and the usher was on the other side. And they said, we got you. We're not going to let you fall. And at that moment, I heard my pastor say, let her go. God got her. And y'all, I left there walking.
Wow. Look at that. Wow.
So when I tell you, I know that I heard God, and I know all he was waiting for was my yes, for real. And from that moment on, he began to birth everything out of me that he had given me, because out of that came Hedges and Highways Ministries. Out of that came everything thereafter. And when it's just been a domino effect. I mean, God has just proven himself that he said what he said, he meant what he said, and I can't do nothing but obey.
Wow.
Has it been easy? No, it has not been easy, because fear put me back in the wheelchair, because I knew he had healed me, but because I had not walked in so long, the fear was there and I kept getting back in the chair. And it wasn't until again he spoke and he said, this chair is not going to be your disability, but it's going to be your transportation to get you to where I'm taking you. And that's just what it was. And when I had to get into my mind that he don't renege on his promises, he don't renege on his healing. You are healed. Why you keep getting back in that chair? So I had to let it go. I had to let the fear go. And it wasn't just so much about the chair. It was also the fear of stepping out on what God had told me to do. So I was holding on to the chair as a crutch. Because I had a fear of stepping out on what I know he said. How is people going to say, who does she think she is? How can she do this? Why is she doing this? She ain't no pastor. Why is she doing this? But I had to stand on what he said. And when I tell you, he has proven himself over and over and over again. The women, the lives that have been touched through the empowerment gatherings that we do, and the ministries that have gone forth from what we have done. God is just awesome. He's just awesome.
Yes. Absolutely.
So that's why I say I am nothing. I'm just the mere vessel that he chose to use and I give him all glory, all honor, all praise. A play came out of it called Girl Get Up. And I'm actually working on Girl Get Up 2. It's just so much that my book is written. I'm just waiting to publish it. It's so much. It's just so much.
Awesome. That's amazing. How can we as we get ready to close out, there's two things. How can we follow you? What are your sites to follow?
Right now I'm on Facebook, Instagram. Our website is being developed.
What's your are you on Facebook? Is it under just your name or are you under your ministry?
No, I have Hedges and Highways Ministries is a page and Purpose Minded Sisters is a group.
So can you spell hedge what?
Hedges, Hedges, HEDGES. And Highways Ministries.
And then you said
and then there's Purpose Minded Sisters.
Oh, that's not right.
And then I'm actually getting ready to launch another component of that he has given me through this pandemic. So stay tuned because there's more. There's so much more.
Awesome. And then you said let me just put this cards here. You said Purpose
Minded Sisters.
Yep, I'm a part of that one.
Yes, you are.
Awesome. That's awesome. And I know you said your website is under construction. Your book,
yes.
So you'll let us know where we can find your books. Listen, you guys, make sure you follow her pages so you can receive all the updated information. This sister is just amazing. Her testimony definitely is amazing. For those who don't believe, for the unbelievers, follow her. Like, her journey is real. She's very transparent. Definitely a woman of God. Transparent to her journey and to her story. And so we definitely thank you, Gwen, for being a part of the Take Back magazine. We thank you for being featured in the Take Back magazine. We thank you for joining us at Social Media Live. Is there anything you want to say to anybody out there that's watching and that's just just feeling like they just like looking at you? It's like, wow, like she's such an inspiration. Like, I wish I can be there. I wish I can do that. Do you have anything out there to say to say for people out there?
What I would say is this. First, you have to acknowledge everything that you have gone through. And once you learn to confront that and know that you are not it, it happened to you. And God allowed it to come through you so that he can use it for his glory. So know that everything that you go through, there's a purpose. Don't get stuck in survival. That's my testimony. But get to a place of conquering so that you can live and thrive through whatever you've gone through. Because that's just the tip of my testimony. When I tell you there's been waves of stuff, but God has been faithful. So when you put God first and know that he is the author and the finisher of it all, you'll get there. You'll get there. You'll get there. Just align yourself with people that can pour into you and strengthen you, not those that's going to keep you stuck in your stuff.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Our women, our men, our young adults out there who are listening, listen, that message was for everybody. For everybody. Don't lay around people that's going to get you stuck or keep you stuck. So that thank you. That was just powerful. That right there was powerful. And like you said, this is just a tip of your journey. This is just a tip of it. Like you just shared a tidbit with us, and we thank you for that. We definitely thank you for that. We look to having you back here on the Let's Talk Live. We definitely look to have you back. We're so grateful for you being on, and we thank you so much. Thank you so
You're
so
so
much.
welcome. Thank you for having me. Praying for you to continue to do great exploits.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And praying for you too, my sister. Thank you so much. Talk to you
Thank
soon.
you.
You're
All
welcome.
right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wow. Amazing. 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 And we know that we are going past some of you guys' bedtime, but we are down to last but not least. I love this sister. She is amazing. She is my mentor. She was my first mentor at DCPNP. Her name is Teresa Brightman. Dr. T.
Hey.
How are you, Dr. T?
Everybody, can you hear me? Are we good?
Yes. Yes.
All right. All right. Wow. I don't know how to act like following all of these ladies, like all that knowledge and information. And I commend all the sisters that came before and made this easier for me, because now it's like, okay, I know what to do. I know where we are. Thank you so much for having me. I'm beyond grateful that you have allowed me to be in this space. And so thank you. And hopefully some of my people out there watching, I'm not really sure who, but hopefully some of them got the
Listen, you guys put your comments in the chat. Let's see if this chat is working. It's probably on the Facebook chat. I don't know. Let me tell you, Dr. T, StreamYard has an active.
That's okay. You know what? These things we don't care. We don't care.
That's
I just share.
No,
we're good.
I see them on Facebook. I don't see them up here, but they on Facebook. I see them on Facebook. Cleo said, "Hey T."
Hey Cleo. All right. All right.
So,
all right.
They're here. So we definitely thank you for being a part. Where are you? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, where are you, Chris? You were there already. Sorry.
Right here. How you doing, Dr. Teresa?
I'm doing well, thank you. That's my son's name, so I like.
Oh.
It's all right with me. Any Chris is all right with me. Okay.
We are beautiful people.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes. Yes.
So we have everyone here. We have everyone watching, and we don't want to take up any more of your time. You know how busy you are, Dr. C. We don't want to take up any more of your time, but we're so thankful for you.
Okay.
We are thankful for you being here. So you can definitely start by just sharing a little bit about who you are and what is it that you do.
Well, first and foremost, I am definitely a child of God. I'm a professor, an ordained deacon. Importantly, I'm a mother and a wife. I'm a new wife. I'm a newlywed. Yeah. I've been married. I've been married less than 2 years. My hubby is on here, so shout out to my husband who is so thank you so much, who's so supportive, who's so encouraging. And it was all God. It was all God. It wasn't me. It was who God knew needed to be in my life. And so because of that, it's just been a blessing to be with him and for us to build together and grow together. And so I wear a lot of hats, but at the end of the day, I'm just whoever I need to be. God has placed me in the lives of some really wonderful people. I've been employed by the Division of Child Protection and Permanency, formerly DIFAS, for 16 years, going on my 17th year. Wow, and yeah, and I never really wanted, look, truth be told, I never wanted to work in child welfare. Okay, I didn't. But when God has something for you, it doesn't matter. As long as you're obedient, that he's going to take you through it. So I never wanted to work with children because I didn't like how people treated them. I never wanted to work with the elderly because I didn't like how people treated them. And so I believe that my work at DCPNP, like one of the previous sisters said, it's a ministry. Like I don't look at it as just, this is my job. This is what I do. This is who I am. This is who God has allowed me to be. And I've come into the lives of some amazing children who have been placed in situations at no fault of their own. but who need an advocate. Just like, how, like, we're in Holy Week now. So we're talking about, we all had, if you're a Christian and you believe and we all had an advocate, someone that stood in the gap for us. And so I believe that standing in the gap for these children who are not able to advocate for themselves or not able to be with their families as much as they want to, that is my role. So yes, I'm mama to them. I know what the state says, but at the end of the day, I need to be able to sleep at night. So for me to sleep at night, I have to do everything in my power to make sure these children are taken care of. And some of them I've had a long time. And and at the end of the day, I don't know when it will end. God will let me know when that will end. And so I'll still do what it is that I'm supposed to do. Never want to be a deacon. Never thought I was going to be a deacon because I didn't think I was worthy to be a deacon. I had a baby when I was 15 and just carried a lot of stuff with me that stayed because you're 15 and pregnant. You're never going to do anything with your life. You're never going to amount to anything. You're going to be a statistic. So all of these things outside of my home, my mom, God bless her, stood by me. She said, this was one mistake that you made. He's here. We're not doing anything to but take care of him. Nothing but take care of him. And every day of my life, I'm going to ensure that that's what you do. So I had a strong mom who meant what she said. She gave me the opportunity to go to college right out of high school. But on Friday, I was home getting my baby because she was not keeping him for me to run around and all of that. So I took him wherever I went, he went. And so I just think, sometimes we wear these labels that people try to give us. And when we do, it's not at all who God intended us to be, right? Because there's nothing illegitimate about my son because God is his father. He has an earthly father, but God is his father. So there's nothing illegitimate about him. So I know there are young ladies out there who may have found themselves, as teen moms or pregnant and, without, being married to the father or whatever, but your baby's not illegitimate. Right. God has a purpose and a plan for everything that happens in our lives. And so even with these children, God has a purpose and a plan. My son is 41 years old. And look at that girl.
That's right.
Beautiful. But I'm thinking, like to see him and to see the man he is today and to watch him as a father and a husband and to just know that, do the best you can. And we have a different relationship now. We grew up together. I'm only 15 years older than him. So, it's like we were buddies until it came time for me to have to lay down the law. I'm not your buddy. I'm mama. Okay. But overall, like I've had some amazing people in my life who have poured into me, who have believed in me when sometimes when I didn't believe in myself. And because of that, I know that God is not finished with me. I don't know what the next is for me. I just know that it's something, and I'm open to the possibilities of whatever that is. Right. And even though I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit afraid about what that is, but he doesn't give us a spirit of fear in the sense that he's not going to bring us to something that he's not going to take us through. So being able to, whatever this next level looks like for me, I'm gonna be all in. I'm just gonna do what I need to do. So I write, I teach, I'm very involved in my church. We are 143 years old this April, and we just got finally had the ordination for our new pastor because of COVID. It was delayed a little bit, but God is doing some things at Mount Zion Baptist Church in Newark, New Jersey. Let me tell you, 208 Broadway. We haven't missed a Sunday. We moved everything to virtual, and God is truly blessed us. You know, my husband is a musician, so I have the opportunity to hear him. He's a musician at our church, you know. So and don't tell me you can't meet a man in church, but I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like I wasn't like Lord, but you could definitely, you know, and I didn't even
very good man at that. Very good
excellent man.
Right.
He's an excellent man. He's loving and kind, you know. And the thing about that, Octavia, God wants so much more for us than we want for ourselves.
Yeah.
I just want a man that was X, Y, and Z. You know, God gave me the whole alphabet. He gave me the whole alphabet, right? So I'm just saying, like, we sometimes limit the possibilities of what and who comes in our lives because we want a little bit, but God wants so much more for all of us. And so I just tell people, be open to the possibilities, be open to what can happen in your life, and don't settle. And don't sell yourself short. No, none of us are to think more highly of ourselves than what we are. But God made all of us special in his image, you know. So yes, there are certain things you can do. Yes, say you can do it. And I haven't always been that. For the longest, I became Dr. Teresa Brightman in 2005. For the longest time, I didn't go by that title.
Nope.
I would not. I just
no.
I didn't. Octavia knows I didn't. I just but I worked
you have student loans.
I did. I worked my honey.
Because you paid for that.
Baby. I did. I paid for that title. But okay.
You paid for that title.
Exactly. But you know, the thing about it is again, when you allow that stinking thinking and stuff to get in your head that, you know, like you're not worthy. Remember, you was 15 and pregnant. Look, I ain't been 15 in a long time. So to get rid of that, you know, I had to. So now I am Dr. Teresa Brightman. That is who I am. I am a professor at Rutgers University, one of the premier research schools in the country. I teach there and have been teaching there part-time since 2010. And so it's just, it is all because of God that I do what I do. Yes.
Doctor, what do you teach there at Rutgers?
I teach in the social work department. I have bachelor's and master's in social work. I did get my master's at Rutgers. And so this semester, I'm teaching groups at risk, which I love, you know, and we're able to talk about these populations that are at risk. And I'm just waiting for the next couple of weeks. We're going to be talking about child welfare. And so, you know, that's definitely near and dear to my heart. So I want to be sure, but we've talked about race and, you know, especially at a time in this country where we are now, and race is so important. And, you know, we have this vaccine and we have this whole pandemic, and there's just so much that we have that going on within our lives. And so we use that platform, and I let the students know you're safe here. This is where you can, this is your classroom is your lab. This is where you can say the things and bounce them off of others. Because when you get out there, you may not get away with some of that stuff you get away with in the classroom. Yeah. So this is where you need to go through some of the information and do what needs to, get out what needs to be out, but also learn yourself and learn your own bias. Because, you know, if you're someone who can't get past your own bias and your own experience, then how are you going to help somebody else? How are you going to help somebody? You know, it's like, and I heard again, and I hear it quite often. It's like, you know, when you're on an airplane, and many of us haven't been on an airplane in a long time because of COVID now, but they tell you put your mask on first. Don't you help anybody else until you put your mask on.
Absolutely.
So if we take that same philosophy with everything we do at life, then you know we don't always do self-care. We put other people first, and as women, you know, that we're nurturers, and so we have to take time for ourselves, and we have to replenish, because if we don't replenish and you're depleted, you know, how do you drink from an empty cup, you know? So it's like I always have tea. I love tea, so you know. But how do you drink from an empty cup?
You can't.
Right.
So because you can't, then you have to refill. You have to do something to refill, and that is by meeting other women, getting to know other women, exposing yourself to different and varied backgrounds, finding something fun to do. I work out, I run. It's now the weather's changing, so I'll probably go back to running outside. I meet with an amazing group of women on Wednesdays and Sundays at 5:45 a.m. a.m. It's a commitment. It's a commitment. Yeah, it's a commitment, and it's a group of women that we come together at that time. We pray, we meditate, we support and encourage one another, and in this journey, you know, and we talk about being free. And you know, if you're going through something, and if you've ever truly been free from something that you felt held you down or held you bound, and you got through it and you're free, it's a different, you feel different. You walk, you got that little bounce, you know, you might have that little walk about you and all of that. And so we carry so much sometimes, and we carry it on our shoulders. So if you ever think, sometimes if you see women that are like, so I try to really make an effort to sit with my shoulders back, or to pull my shoulders back, and it changes your whole disposition. You know? But we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders.
Yes, we do.
As women, and as women of color.
Everything.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
We do. So it's been, you know, life is definitely where you make it. And right now with COVID, you have, you know, people you haven't been able to be around the people you love as much as you'd like. And, you know, people are missing hugs. You know, hugs are healing, you know. So it's just this whole thing of, we miss what we don't have sometimes. And so I think one of the things COVID did, it forced us to come up with another way. Another way to worship. You know, it's not in a building anymore for some people.
Right. Hello.
Our homes are our sanctuaries.
Yeah.
You could be in the kitchen with your phone on mute. That's your sanctuary. You getting the word, you know? And so we've had to do things different because of COVID and this pandemic. And hopefully we're passing through. We're not here to stay.
That's true.
We're not here, and we're not here in this pandemic to stay. We're going to get, there is an after pandemic. I don't know the date of it, but we're going to come through better, stronger.
Yeah.
More rooted in the word. What?
Yeah.
That's it. You know, so that's me. Like I'm, you know.
You're super optimistic. You're an educator. You're a mom. You are impactful. And do you understand? This is my question to you. Are you aware of the impact you've made?
So many people lives you touch.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I am. My husband tells me he supports and encourages, and he's like, "Do you?" And he's asking me that. Do you really know? And I know that God has used me and has worked for me. That I do know. And I if I could just make a small impact in somebody's life, then what he's intended for me to do, I've done, you know? And so I'm the youngest of 9, and my mom was my total inspiration. All she ever wanted to do was go to school and teach. But my mom grew up in a time, born in 1926, women didn't you when your mom told you to come home and take care of your siblings, that's what you did. So my mom was able only to go to the 8th grade, but she was the smartest, wisest person, and she was the number 1 student in her 8th grade class, and that's as far as she was able to go. So every time I go into the classroom, my mom goes with me every time I go, because it's because of her shoulders and because of what she poured into me. And even though she didn't have the traditional 12th grade education like some people, but she believed in education and her kids were educated. And so that was, 2013, my life forever changed. That was when my mom passed, but she has been with me and continues to stay with me. And I'm just so grateful that I have this opportunity and this platform, and I want to do whatever I can for somebody else. It may not make it. It may not even matter to everybody, but for the one person that needs it, it's going to matter to them.
Absolutely.
It's going to. And Octavia, you have, and I've told you before, and I know and have seen your growth. I have seen what you do with your gift, and the fact that you provide an opportunity and pour into so many others. God is still working and still has so much for you to do.
Yes.
And all you have to do is just receive that, because he continues to confirm it through opportunities, and continues to confirm it through you, because you're who he's given it to. And so the people that you have touched, you need to know also the lives that you have touched in your book. And you kept me up a couple of nights, but I tried to okay, I gotta lay it down. I gotta go to sleep. But no, I want to see. I get to a certain page and I was like, oh Lord. Okay. But just, thank you for being transparent, and thank you for putting yourself out there and being open to do that, because it's not an easy thing to do. And because you have done that, others are definitely touched and blessed beyond any words that I could ever say to you. But I know in your heart what you're doing. So I commend you, sister. I definitely give you.
That means so much. That means so much coming from you. Like I first opened up with, you are my mentor, and you have been my mentor. We worked together at DCP&P, formerly known as Typhus.
Yeah.
We worked together.
Some of us moved on.
Yeah, I left.
I was like, what? Okay. All right.
But I've learned so much. Like you have crossed my path, and you have never left. And I've learned so much from you.
I ain't going nowhere.
And just being able to, and that's what I love. Like, I'm still able to reach out to you. I'm still able to ask you questions, no matter how busy our lives may get. Like, I know if I need you, that you are there, and I'm thankful for that, and I will always be thankful for that. Your journey is someone's story. And it was just, it was an honor to have you here on our platform. An honor for you to share. An honor for you to give us just a snippet of your life, because there's so much more about who Dr. T is. But thank you so much for just giving us.
You're very welcome.
And allowing us to, and to partake and partake in your journey thus far. And so we would love to definitely have you back on Let's Talk Social Media Live.
Hey, let's do it.
Have you back. and talk about your business, because I know you didn't even get into that, but we want to definitely bring you back for you to talk about it. So it is going to be a Dr. T part 2.
Ooh, okay, all right. You know, I bake. I bake. I do, and you know,
and
in
it's
Jersey,
so good. She got my husband hooked on her lemon cake.
But I bake. I baking is therapeutic for me. I used to bake it and just take it to work and just like, here, y'all have it, you know, because in the kitchen, it just, you know, it's another time that I'm close to my mom, because I used to sit at her feet as a little girl while she was cooking and watched, and she, you know, she get mad, girl, I'm gonna kick you in the mouth if you don't let go of my leg, because I'm really holding on to her, like, but because of that, I learned, you know, and the kitchen is a very important like room for me, because that's, you know, that's where I learned a lot. And so in Jersey, unlike some other states, you really aren't supposed to bake in New Jersey in your home, you know, so you have to have like a commercial kitchen and all that kind of stuff. But Dr. T Bakes is, I do cookies and cakes and all that stuff, but I'm meant. Oh, thank you. And life coach and mentor and social worker. You know, it's like all those at the end of the day are just labels. You know, and I am a servant too. And once I accepted that I was a servant, that I am, my life started getting a lot easier, because I fought being a deacon. I fought. You know, I was like, I asked my former pastor, is there a book? You know, I'm give me a book and she didn't give me a book. She gave me a book, and I read that book, and I was like, oh, okay, I think I can do that. I think I have that. You know, and it doesn't say anywhere in here that you got to be perfect. I got this. But I went back to her and said, do you have another book? Mm-hmm. She said, you don't get out of my office and go talk to the Holy Spirit. and from there, it was just kind of like, I knew the direction that I was going. And so in 2015, I was ordained. And so it's just what I do. At church, they call me Dr. T. So I'm kind of used to that now. And, but I have me back whenever you'd like. I definitely will make myself available and support you. I wholeheartedly support what you do with the youth, and especially the aging out youth with DCPMP. And even though we're trying to do a better job, there unfortunately are still some that get lost in the cracks. And so Reveal to Heal, and you know, this whole thing that you do with them is very important. So if we cannot lose any, then that would be our goal.
Yes.
And if not that, then to lose the least number possible.
Right.
So yeah. So
yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. T. Is there anything that you want to close out with, and are there any social media sites that you want me to put into the chat so we can put it up here for people to be able to follow you?
Okay. I'm TC Brightman on Facebook. I tried to get all my names uniform, but that didn't work. I'm Dr. TC Brightman on Facebook. I'm Dr. Brightman Speaks on Instagram. And if you get to either one of those, you can find my Twitter. Okay. Because my full name wasn't available. I was like, how many people out there with that? But a lot. I was like, what? But okay. All right. So I had to do something different, you know. But if you could get me on Facebook, then or Instagram, you can find me on Twitter and anywhere else, and Messenger and all of that. I'm available. I'm working on a book right now, based on my life. Chapters in my life. So it already have the title. I already know it's going to be 7 chapters, which is intentional. I know that each chapter will have 3 stories, which is intentional. Mm-hmm. And so just working on it. See, yeah. Your lips to God's ears, right? I know, right? I have this little thing where it says Matthew 19:26. Faith with God, all things are possible. All things are possible.
All things,
so
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So I'm standing on that. I'm standing on that, and you go. That book is coming out, and again, like you said, it's my truth. All I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stand on the fact it's my truth. I ain't trying to hurt anybody. I'm not, but my truth is my truth. And the people that I need to be on board, my husband and my son are on board. So
yeah, and that's all that matters. That's it.
That's it. So look for it. It's coming. My goal, I'm definitely shooting for the end. Oh, look at her. Hey, baby.
Way past her bedtime.
She wanted to be a part of it. That's okay. But it's coming. It's coming. And thank you again so much for having me.
And when it drops, it will be featured in the Take Back magazine. You guys must subscribe. Listen, we got to have it. We got to have it. The Take Back magazine is traveling across the country. We're excited about that. We are excited about that. So thank you so much, Dr. T.
You're very welcome. Bye, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for those that are listening, to my husband. Thank you.
They're all still here. Yes, it's all kind of 7. The number of completion. Clea was just thank you guys so much for being a part. I'm kind of doing double. I'm doing double whammies here, but thank you so much. Thank you for sticking with us. This has been our longest segment, but this has been one of our best segments. And so we thank each and every one of our guests for the entire month of March. We thank you guys. Please look out for the Take Back magazine in April. It's Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. It's Stress Awareness Month. It's Alcohol Awareness Month. It's so many different things that we didn't know of. Like, I knew about child abuse prevention, but everything else I didn't know about. So listen, we have a Did You Know section that's in the Take Back magazine, and it's just educating you about different things that you may not have known about. So thank you guys. Until next time, we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Guys. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.